Hey y'all, so today I'm going to be sharing my TBR for the Reading Rush. I'm sure if you clicked on this video you already know what the Reading Rush is, but if you're unfamiliar, it used to be called the Booktubeathon, and it is a week-long readathon that happens every July or August, and it's a big booktube event. I've participated in the Reading Rush or the Booktubeathon pretty much every year except for last year. Last year I think was the first time I didn't even attempt to participate, but even though I haven't read much this year, I've been in a reading mood the last couple weeks. I'm almost finished with my third book of the year. That's how much I haven't been reading. But I want to use the Reading Rush as an opportunity to actually try to read more, and so here we are. So I'm going to go ahead and share my TBR by going through the different reading challenges for the Reading Rush, but since the Read 7 Books challenge is just an addendum, a bonus challenge this year, there is going to be some overlap. However, for certain reasons that I will share when we get to that challenge, I thought it would still be the easiest to go challenge by challenge, even though some books are going to count for multiple, so let me go ahead and just jump into it. Challenge number 1 is to read a book with purple on the cover, and I decided to just go ahead and go with a book that has an entirely purple cover, and that is The Song Rising by Samantha Shannon. This is book 3 in the Bone Season series. I love this series, but this has been out for 2 years now, and I still haven't read it. I've had this book for 2 years. I love this series, and I just haven't been in a dystopia fantasy mood, so I haven't picked this up. But I'm going to try to finally get to it. It is the shortest one in the series so far. I think it's less than 400 pages, so this shouldn't be too hard to read during the Reading Rush. And I also am going to need to reread the mime order before I read this, so I might read that before the Reading Rush starts and then start my week with this. I'm not totally sure about that, we'll see, but I definitely am going to be using this for my purple book. So challenge number 2 is to read a book in the same spot the entire time, and this one obviously isn't tied to any specific book. I can pick whatever book I want, and it's also going to be pretty easy for me because I'm probably going to be reading in bed the entire time, so I haven't picked a book for this, but I will try to complete this, which again should be easy because the only place I really ever read is my bed. Challenge number 3 is to read a book that you meant to read last year. And for this I resorted to my annual book bucket list. I don't think I made one this year, but the last couple years I made one, and I chose a book from that list for 2018. But instead of just picking one book, I went ahead and picked the rest of the Battle Royale manga series. I don't think I'm going to finish all of these during the Reading Rush, nor do I intend to finish all of these during the Reading Rush, but I'm gonna slot these in whenever I feel like it because these are pretty quick reads. So because of these, I might get up to the Read 7 books, I don't know, but I'm just gonna kind of fit these in between books, or if I'm just not in the mood to pick up whatever longer book I'm reading that day, I'm just gonna fill these in throughout the week. I don't know how many I'm gonna get through, but however many I feel like. As you might be able to tell, I have read the first 7 volumes and I have the last 8 to go. I haven't picked these up in a while, so I'm gonna need to do a little bit of a refresher just to figure out where I'm at in the story because I have read the novel. So we'll see how many of these I get through. Challenge number 4 is to read an author's first book, and I had a few options for this one, but the one that I decided to go with was Special Topics in Calamity Physics by Marisha Pessl. I really liked Night Film by her, and this seems to be a murder mystery that takes place either at a normal school or at a boarding school, and there's supposed to be a lot of pop culture references in here. It just sounds like it's right up my alley, and I'm very intrigued by it. I might swap this out for Nice Try Jane Sinner if I'm more in the mood for that, but I think this is probably going to be the one I go with. Okay, challenge number 5. This one was the trickiest for me, and it's also the reason why I'm doing this list like this. This challenge is to read a book with a non-human main character. So here's the thing, I am not going to tell you what book I am reading for this challenge. What I will tell you is that it's overlapped from another challenge. I either have already talked about it or I will talk about it at some point in this TBR. So the reason I'm not telling you which book on my TBR this is because although I have discovered this book has a non-human main character, it's not usually marketed as a book with non-human main characters, nor is it talked about generally as a book with non-human main characters. But yeah, one of these books has one or more non-human main characters, but I don't want to spoil anything for you on one of these books, so I'm not telling you which one. The next challenge is to read a book with 5 or more words in the title, and this is another one that overlaps. For this one, I'm using Special Topics and Calamity Physics. And then finally, challenge number 7 is to read and watch a book-to-movie adaptation, and for this, I am using the book Your Name. Here's the thing, this isn't technically a book-to-movie adaptation. This and the movie, I believe, were both written by the director of the movie, and they both came out at about the same time. So I'm not sure whether the movie counts as a book-to-movie adaptation or if this counts as a novelization of the movie, but either way, there is a book and a movie, and I'm going to be consuming both during the reading rush. That said, for this one, I have a couple different options that I'm also considering, so I'll share those really quickly as well. The first of those is that I'm considering getting the first volume of the Erased manga. Technically, yes, that's book-to-TV adaptation or like book-to-anime, but I'm using this as like book-to-screen. And finally, the last one is that I've gotten obsessed with the Danganronpa games. I've only finished the first game, but the first game also has a manga adaptation and an anime adaptation, and I'm so obsessed that I might end up buying the manga and then also watching the anime, because that's how much of a problem I have. So I don't know, it might happen. I'm gonna start the second game later today, so we'll see. But if I continue falling deeper into this Danganronpa rabbit hole, I might end up doing that. And if you've never heard of this game before, do yourself a favor, check up in the cards. I'm gonna leave a link to the video that I found that kind of explains what the game is and really made me want to check it out. So I will leave that link up in the cards. So these are the 4 books on my TBR for the reading rush, at least for now, if I don't swap anything out that I mentioned. I might attempt to read more volumes of the manga just to get myself up to 7 to get that bonus challenge, but that's not a huge priority for me. We'll see what I end up doing, but these are the ones that I definitely want to get to throughout the reading rush. And also possibly the Danganronpa manga adaptation. I am not totally sure, we'll see. Also, trying to say Danganronpa manga is a very hard series of syllables to string together. Anyway, that's all for this video. Enough rambling. This is my reading rush TBR plus a couple more of these. I'm very excited for the reading rush. I can't wait to get some more reading done and hopefully get even more done before the reading rush even starts. As always, I will leave links down in the description to my blog, Twitter, and Goodreads. Please add me as a friend on Goodreads. I would love to be friends with all of you. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!